Don't worry guys, I'm not sick, but I really want you to understand this message. Hey guys, this is Shetty and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've been spending a lot of time at the hospital lately, and it's not because I'm unwell. When I lived as a monk, I had the opportunity to take many of the elderly monks to the hospital for their routine checkups, procedures, and sometimes even operations. I would observe the pain, the suffering, the struggle that people are actually going through. I would see people coming to see their family members who are undergoing particular operations or challenges and health issues. I would observe in the corridors, the hallways, and all the different units that were there. Often I would even try and help if I could. It was quite an experience. I've never seen so many people going through so much in one place. It reminded me of a story I'd heard sometime before that about the Buddha. This was before he became enlightened and lived as a prince. His name was Siddhartha. When he was 5 years old, the priest predicted that he would either become a great king or a great sage. Now, when his father heard that, he was convinced that he wanted his son to be a king. He preferred that because he was a king himself, and he reflected that onto his child. So he made sure that Siddhartha never had any troubles in life. He wanted him to have no hardships. He had people serving him, had people supporting him. He had a completely sheltered childhood. His father, the king, made sure he had everything he could ever want. He didn't want him to ever feel that he should go off and become a sage. At the age of 29, after an extremely sheltered childhood, never have been exposed to anything negative, Siddhartha had a curiosity to experience life beyond four walls. He wanted to be exposed to real life beyond the walls of his palace. When he finally convinced his charioteer to take him out of the palatial grounds, it was incredible what he saw. First, he came across a person who was sick. He was completely surprised. In all his years, he'd never ever seen anyone with a disease because his father had kept him away from that. They went a bit further in the chariot and he saw someone who was old. He'd never seen someone beyond a certain age. He'd never seen how that affects the body. And for the first time in his life, he was exposed to what it feels like to get old. The chariot went a bit further and he saw a corpse. Siddhartha had only known of death theoretically, never seen it directly with his eyes. His father had kept him completely sheltered from all these things, particularly death. Finally, as he continued on his curious path, he saw a sage. He'd not really seen that many sages in his time, and he observed how the sage walked past and to each of these sick, old individuals and expressed compassion, empathy, joy, and peacefulness. Siddhartha at that moment had a wake-up call. He realized that no matter what you had in life, these were things no one could avoid. Just because he was a prince, it didn't mean that he would never get sick or get a disease. Just because he was a prince, it didn't mean that he would never get old. And just because he was a prince, it didn't mean that he would never die. In this moment, he made a resolve that he wanted to live his life like the sage. And of course, he became the one we all know as the Buddha. So many of us fear the conversation of death, of sickness, of disease, or we feel that it's morbid or negative to talk about these things. But what if, just like for Siddhartha, it could be transformative? It could be this positive, enlivening experience that allows us to live life more meaningfully, more purposefully. We all think about death. Some of us think about it from time to time. Some of us pride ourselves on not having to think about it at all. Some of us fear it. And some of us use it endlessly as a motivator, as an inspirer. Some of the most successful people in the world use the fact that they're one day going to die to make today matter.
Any breath could be my last.
We stop spending time with people who don't make us feel fulfilled. We stop investing in things that don't make us feel like we're progressing and moving forward. I'm not saying you have to think about it all day and get down. I'm saying that it can be used in moments of needing a recharge. I learned some huge lessons by going to the hospital every week, and I want to share them with you. Number one, it makes us realize the value of every breath that we have, every moment and every minute.
I am lucky to be alive.
We start using that time much more wisely because we realize that it's not infinite. The second thing I realized is how much need there is to do good in the world. How many people are lonely? How many people need care? How many people need compassion and affection to have meaningful journeys? I realized that I was able to serve, support, and care for people that I didn't even know, and that made a difference to them. And the third is, I stopped wasting time on people or things that didn't matter. I started realizing that I wanted everything I did to have an impact and make a difference. And that's what I got from going to the hospital every week. I am so grateful that you're watching my videos right now, and I hope that you're going to go on and watch so many more. But before you do that, make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you can find out about the videos as soon as they launch. Press the like button and leave a comment, and let's keep making wisdom go viral together.